Hi everyone, it's the English Simmer here, and whilst we may not have had an official acknowledgement when it comes to The Sims 4 10th birthday, we did in fact get a brand new quarterly teaser. Now, I did watch this very briefly whilst I was extremely busy down in London, so I didn't really take anything in. So today I just wanted to go through it in case you had missed it as well. It was posted over on Twitter, which is where all of their quarterly teasers are pretty much posted in full. They also upload them to like their Instagram stories and stuff. This one is intriguing. It finally gives us answers to all the Grim Reaper hints we felt like we'd had pretty much over the last 2 years. Let's see what the game has written in our fortunes. A reading for the season, and then it's kind of like tarot cards. We have this card right here. Okay, 2 new kits coming September. Reaper's Reward event September 24th. Life and Death expansion pack, first look October 3rd. Launch 31st of October. Halloween launch and free updates. A little Halloween baby. Now the thing is, can you slow down? Oh my god, you can slow down Twitter once. Okay, this is great. So a reading for the season. Obviously, this is very much giving like tarot cards, fortune telling, perhaps. I've also seen a couple of people say astrology, like all of that with like crystals. Obviously, we already got like charging crystals in Crystal Creations. So it really feels like they've gone heavy on this kind of theming for this year. I wouldn't be shocked if we got astrology. I've said it for the longest time that I feel as if they've been kind of like using stars and celestial references and hints, especially in item descriptions and also like the way that they look in swatches. So I personally feel like we could potentially get astrology maybe in this September to December period, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, nothing is confirmed other than like the packs. There is actually some little like hot chocolate and a little like latte art over here. Is it a pearl? Is it a little like orb? Is it a crystal ball? It's really hard to kind of see because it's just like a top down angle of it. So I feel like you can't really figure it out all that much. But usually like these kind of like hint towards some little things. I'm just thinking like what can a little hot chocolate be a hint towards? You have like the moon phases on the back of these cards. I am not a tarot girly. I've never had my tarot read. I don't really understand all of the cards all that much. I don't really understand the references. However, there are simmers who are very much into tarot and who have educated a lot of us over on Twitter, which we will be getting into. We're getting the Artist Studio Kit and Storybook Nursery Kit. I am so glad. I do wish that more nurseries and child bedroom theming, even like teen bedroom theming, just came in wider expansion packs. I actually think Growing Together was missing an awful lot of that. I feel like we should have got a couple of sets inspired by like maybe different hobbies. We do have like a couple of Void Critter pieces. We also have like a couple of like reading pieces and stuff, but we don't have specific theming when it comes to kids' rooms. So whilst this is only like one theming, I'm kind of glad that it's coming. It is 2 build kits, which usually I'm not like super pumped about, but the Artist Studio Kit I could probably live without, even though I do have creative sims quite often. I am interested to see what like artistry they're going to go with. I feel like potentially some different types of hobbies, not just like, oh, this person is like a painter, because we have like quite a lot of like painting stuff in the game already. Obviously, Crystal Creations had like jewelry making and crystals and that sort of clutter. So I'm excited to see maybe some more clay, maybe like pottery. I definitely feel like there are different like art mediums that they could go with. However, it could feel slightly out of place being in a kit and not really having like gameplay gameplay to back it. Obviously, all you really have is like the lump of clay. I would love pottery. I just want a hobbies expansion in general. You all know this about me, but I definitely think this could be interesting to see what they're gonna kind of include, because I feel like we have like a lot of drawings, we have a lot of doodles, we have a lot of canvases. They're both coming on September the 19th. The wording of the artist studio kind of reminds me of the Prism Art Studio that we actually got on the Sims 3 store. This was a build that you could basically purchase, but it also included like items. It was a set, a place for your Sims to express themselves, glass blowing, jewelry making, painting, smelting. There's something for nearly every artist. If your Sim needs a sanctuary where they can create things with like-minded Sims, Prison Art Studio is the place to be. Obviously, you do have like your artists, they're doing like a little still life class, which I think things like that should exist in the game. I know you can kind of do it with like groups, but not really. Like you can't set like a model. You can paint from reference, but you're only really able to do it like maybe if you have mods with like pose player. I think I could be a fan considering it is like encouraging hobbies, but we'll just have to wait and see. And then next up, hello, is it playing? Oh yeah, it's just going super slowly. I forgot that I had put it into like 0.5. We've got all of these hands grabbing for the cow plant cake, which obviously we know that can lead to a death if you do it twice. Number 2 is Reaper's Rewards event, which is launching on the 24th of September. We did already have the daily login rewards, which I know there was like mixed feelings about that. I have a feeling this could potentially be more like gameplay-esque. This could be kind of based in maybe a scenario, maybe it could be a community type event where they want us to like befriend the Grim Reaper, or maybe unalive a certain number of Sims and that unlocks certain things in this reward event. I honestly would really love it if that was the case. I would love it if the game was like try and unalive a Sim in, I don't know, 5 potential different ways and then try and kill off like this total number of Sims. I just think that kind of draws on challenges that the community already loves doing, such as the Black Widow challenge, for example. And I think that's kind of what they had in mind when they started creating these events. They were like, we don't always just want like a daily login. Like we don't just want you to open up the game and then potentially close it and you get a reward for that, which is like nice and all, but we actually want to inspire you to maybe play your game a different way, or we want to encourage you to like take part as a community. I really think that's where reward events could possibly shine. So I personally am excited for that. I think all the hands like reaching for it as well. That is basically the Sims community. Like, gimme. We have the Life and Death expansion pack. The first look, which I'm fairly sure is going to be a teaser trailer, is, what day is it? October 3rd. We have the Grim Reaper bringing life butterflies, which is very important because I literally, in my last pack hints video where I go back and look at the last few packs that we have received, I look at what kind of items they included, what swatches were on those items, and also the descriptions to try and find hints. Obviously, butterflies are symbolic within Mexico. I spoke about this in depth in that video. Butterflies are viewed as the embodiment of the souls of warriors slain in battle. So it's kind of all about remembrance. It's also migrating butterflies carried the souls of ancestors visiting from the afterlife. Very heavily ties in to the celebration of the Day of the Dead. This really feels like it is actually tying into all of this, which I absolutely love. I love that was kind of hinted towards in cultural references and symbolism in the last expansion pack that we got, and now it does feel like it's kind of having that full like life cycle moment. Will say these two expansion packs, I feel like they've released so close together. I personally feel like I would have preferred it if maybe Love Struck had come out just a little bit earlier, like maybe if they had aimed for a spring release rather than having them kind of both in the back end of this year. I feel like I can finally stop apologizing to those of you who were very much offended that Nifty Knitting won. I wanted Nifty Knitting with like all of my being, and I was so thankful that it won, and I have used it so much since I got that pack. But I know that on that survey that we were doing for the community voted stuff pack the second time around, a lot of people wanted the Grim Reaper career stuff pack, and that didn't unfortunately win because it was knocked out by Nifty Knitting. So I have heard people saying they would love like a Grim Reaper career. I don't really know how it would work, honestly. Is it gonna be an active career where you do actually like go around and maybe reap souls of like dying townies? I have no idea. Ever since like I saw it in the survey, I was like, I don't know how this is actually gonna look in game. I don't know what that gameplay would be. If you were one of those people who were like desperate for the Grim Reaper career, how do you envision that actually within the game? Obviously, a lot of people are talking like maybe we'll be getting funerals within this pack as a kind of way to pay your respects towards the dead and like the life that your Sims have lived. Maybe inheritance is potentially gonna come. I know that's something that a lot of family game players and a lot of legacy players would absolutely love to see. Giving specific family heirlooms to different Sims within your family without just you as a player having to do that, like writing a will that actually allows you to pass on certain assets, splitting money between people and having inheritances in that way, maybe splitting like the house. There's a ton of different things I feel like they could do with inheritance and family heirlooms when it comes to a life and death pack. The life area of this, I mean, we play a life simulation game. People are saying like resurrection, but we do already have resurrection in The Sims 4. Obviously, it's all done through ambrosia or a number of other different things I think can potentially bring your Sims back from the dead. I think there's a magic spell from Realm of Magic. We kind of already do have resurrection. I don't really know what the life element is going to be. I'm going to obviously like sit with my thoughts. I'm going to sit with like knowing what this is, and then probably do a wish list in the future of what I would want from this actual pack. Maybe we'll finally get some birthday updates and party updates, because you know that's all like celebrating life, but we'll just have to wait and see. I have just realized that my face has been blocking the art, so I will move my face and just like show you the art itself. And free updates for number 4. I'm actually gonna move my face right now because I think this one is super interesting. People have noted that this is Sulani up in this corner. We have Mount Komorebi up here. We have Strangerville, and then this is, I'm fairly sure, the Vampire World. This is also very, very meaningful. This is an actual like tarot design that is very, very recognizable. And obviously, I did make a video talking about how we could potentially be getting a world update of some sort, because on my homepage just a couple of weeks ago now, I actually got a mini little questionnaire that asked me how I felt about it basically taking you into Create a Sim when you start a new game. I would not be shocked if we were getting an update that actually like loads us into the worlds when we start a new game. It kind of feels like a rejuvenation because a lot of people would prefer that. So I definitely think that could be coming quite soon. September to December. So this actually takes us to the end of 2024. Just to show you the art on the cards, this is actually what they look like. This was the kind of her stepping into the pool. She looks like a statue who has come to life. This is the cow plant with all these hands reaching for its cake. This is Grim with the butterflies, and also obviously flower growing in his hand symbolizing life. New life. So Richard actually took to Twitter and put, basically, these are the cards we saw in the Sims 4 roadmap. The star, hope, spiritual, guidance, healing, and renewal. So that was this one right here, which is actually about the kits. Then we have the devil, temptation, materialism, and destruction, which is the cow plant. Death, transformation, endings, transition, rebirth. And then also the world, completion, achievement, and wholeness. The world. That is what is making me think that we're gonna get a new game actually like leading into manage worlds or like choose a world rather than it working how it currently is. And then Sarah, I never know how to pronounce it, responded with, I'd say the cow plant looks more like judgment, calling, moment of truth, release, and forgiveness. And Dave, Simguru Ninja, actually responded with correct. So that's kind of already been confirmed by a guru that it is actually more judgment. And this has kind of led to the questions of, well, how are we going to have like judgment in the game? Like, are we going to have a new system that actually maybe kind of hinges on get famous like reputation? Maybe how you live your Sims life, like how mean you are to Sims, how like mischievous you are actually has like quite a detrimental effect. And then if you live like a really like lovely, generous, like giving, fulfilling life, then perhaps you get rewarded for that. And if you don't, maybe if you are this mischievous, like mean Sim, perhaps there's like a detrimental effect that could have, maybe like on your lineage. Like, I don't know how deep they're gonna take this. I just feel like life and death is such like a wide kind of topic, and it very much almost feels like hints of religious, which I think is always gonna like take into account a lot of different religions within the world and kind of find inspiration from those, but then do it in like a very, very Simsy way where it doesn't specifically feel like it's calling out any specific religions. It's just kind of a merge of all of them to make maybe like a quirky Sims system. Maybe if you lead a certain life, maybe they are gonna add like some form of reincarnation into the game and rebirth, so you get like a second chance at life. And that's kind of what the judgment and rebirth leads into. Many questions to be had. I so wish I was a tarot girly right now. I can't imagine how excited you're all feeling, like seeing something that you probably love now in the game that you probably love and just like connecting the dots. A lot of people have already said, should this really be an expansion pack? Which I feel like is something we've been asking an awful lot, especially because we're 10 years into the game. And it does feel like whilst we're getting new content, a lot of it right now does seem to be core stuff. And I definitely felt this for Love Struck, so I understand where people are coming from when it comes to this. I personally felt like romantic relationships could have been stronger and should have been stronger over the last 10 years. And then unfortunately, you had to pay the price tag of an expansion to actually deepen those relationships. A lot of people felt that same way about Growing Together because obviously that gave all like the familial dynamics. And it's just, okay, this is cool and all, like this is a cool theme, like I'm excited for it, but how much of this should potentially have like been in the game and like would have already had that depth if it wasn't an expansion? I think that's also a struggle that Simmers like always think about as well, because this is held back by being made in 2014. Like obviously there are a lot of things that they could have done differently that weren't done, and it's now like, okay, it feels like we're just patching these things finally into the game 10 years into it, but it's like, have they only just like figured out how to do these things? It's a really difficult thing to know because we're not game developers and we don't really get to see the insights of like how those decisions are made and kind of what leads into what during development phases. I also am absolutely not buying into the theory of this is a celebration of the life of The Sims 4 and also could potentially be the end of The Sims 4. Nah. They have repeatedly, and I mean repeatedly, I have been in this community, in the Sims 4 community, since like 2013 when it got announced, and they have said so many times there are many more years to come of content for The Sims 4, and they said that literally like probably the last time about 8 months ago. I can assure you this is not the end of The Sims 4. A death pack does not mean death to The Sims 4, no matter how much you may be wanted to. Oop, really quickly, there is also a blog post as well. Settle in with a warm cup of cocoa. Sims really said it's insert Twilight song. I'm not gonna sing it for you all right now. Don't want to make your ear bleed season. And enjoy a tarot card reading that takes a peek at what's next. I definitely think we're getting tarot as a hobby in this pack for sure. Give your little Nubu a sophisticated start with the storybook nursery kit, or build an inspiring retreat to help your Sims creativity flow in the artist studio kit. Give us more ways to do art with other Sims and just like hobbies in general, bro. I need it. Help Grim out and earn free items in the Reaper's reward event coming to base game September 24th. Keep an eye out for more information that will be shared in the days ahead. Help Grim out. They're going to encourage us to unalive Sims 100%. I feel like they have to, or just like befriend Grim probably. Speaking of Grim, the fan favorite hooded figure will make an appearance in Life and Death expansion pack. Get a first look on October 3rd. Embark on an endless journey through life and beyond. Maybe they're gonna do more with Ghosts. Oh, I'd be so thrilled if they did more with Ghosts. With the pack releasing this Halloween on October 31st. I would love to hear what you all think of this. Feel free to throw your judgment on this teaser. If you are into tarot, definitely let me know your thoughts. I'm so intrigued by this. I am definitely going to be looking up like meanings of tarot cards and what the symbols mean, because I think that's really interesting. I love how they've pulled on that as the theming of this. I think it's a really cool way to tie it all together, and I definitely think there's more than meets the eye. Like, I feel as if this art is really giving a lot of hints that over the next few months we're going to be like, oh, like that's what that meant. And I love it when a teaser does that. I love it when it gets cogs ticking and the community like invested in what they are actually trying to tell us, and then also getting confirmation on that in the few months time. Honestly, not too much. I feel for the last 4 months of the year, we got those 2 kits coming in September, and then we got end of October, which will take us through to November, and then we'll probably have some free updates throughout November, December, but that's pretty much it when it comes to pack releases. So we've seen the whole year basically of Sims 4 pack releases. I would love to hear your thoughts though. Super intrigued about this one. I will obviously be going into more thoughts and details about these things, updates when they do come out, and also looking over all the teasers and trailers. So definitely subscribe if you aren't already. I would love to have you here. I am a Swiftie and a Simmer, which means I absolutely dive in deep to hints, and I absolutely love this time. I love it that it comes around like every 3 months. I feel rejuvenated myself. I appreciate you all, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.